to Change the Narrative. This is Kim.
I'm Lamb.
Happy New Year to the Change the Narrative family.
Happy New Year to everybody out there, especially the people who wanted to believe at Brad's. But I know your New Year's looking bright. You know what I'm saying?
2020.
2020.
Started off the year with a bang.
Right now, Brad's pocket light, $10 million lighter. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
Well, I like it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, and that's just one of the things with lottery, right?
Yeah, it means
sometimes
a lot.
you win.
Sometimes you don't, man. So shout out to the people who just toast Brad's for the new year, man. Word up. And also shout out to the people who participated in this year, today's New Year's Classic.
Yes.
The Belizeans that did well and the ones who participated, man, good luck. Congratulations.
Man. Yeah.
And keep at it, man, straight up. So what we got going on for tonight, though?
Well, just to reflect a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Last week, we had a great episode.
Okay.
We talked a little bit about cronyism and nepotism.
We sure did.
And there was a statement that you made that some said was bold, right?
Bold?
Yeah, they said it was bold.
Facts. More like facts.
And that particular statement was that we are not poor.
Indeed.
We are being mismanaged.
Yes, indeed.
And
what's bold about that?
I had the same questions, but there was a lot of people who, I don't know, some agreed that we're not poor, but it touched them a little bit when we said we're being mismanaged. Kind of like they seem like we can't do better. So you asked, what is this episode about?
Mm-hmm.
This episode is about the fact that Belize is actually a
$10 billion economy.
10 billion
Believe
people.
it or not. Believe it straight up.
And we're going to show you
that we are being mismanaged.
And prove that we are being mismanaged.
And that we are actually should be a $10 million economy. Because again, to be honest with you, we are running on about 10% of our potential.
10%. Yeah. Because we're running on 2 billion GDP right now.
And we should be at 10 to 20 billion now. At least 10 to 20.
Yeah. Why do we say that, Clint?
Because the numbers don't lie. And like Jay-Z said, man lie, woman lie. The numbers don't. I mean, the numbers can be stubborn, man. Can be very stubborn, and like we play sports, so you know the sports analogy is you are what your records say you are.
That's right.
So you can still be whatever you did or what you didn't do, but your record speaks for itself.
Yep, that's
and
what
for
we're
the
going
last
to look at.
38 to 40 years, these politicians who were in charge, they have a record.
In charge, yep.
They have a record, and their record reflects what the numbers show.
Have we ever been more than 2 billion? We've never been higher than 2 billion.
This is the highest it's ever been.
Okay.
But it's also, people have said that we also $2 billion in debt. You know what I'm saying? And again, I just want to make this quick statement about debt.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't worry too much about debt. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I do not. Of course you worry about that. If we have $2 billion as a GDP and we're in $2 billion debt, that means we're walking a very fine line. A natural disaster.
So most people don't
understand.
Done. Most people don't understand banking and money in itself. So a person who don't understand that will say that. But let me give you a quick overview because the banks and so forth. People don't understand that the government of Belize only produce about 3% of physical cash in the entire country. 97% of the money that is floating around is in the form of credit. And that comes from the banks. Whenever you go get a loan, the bank is actually creating new money. All right? So that's people need to understand it because the banks are working off the fractional reserve system, which gives them the ability to keep only 5% of the fraction of whatever money you put in there as a reserve, and the rest they can lend out. And that rest is usually in the form of credit. So again, most of the money that we have circulating around the country is through credit. In addition to that, in regards to debt itself, debt is always backed by interest.
Yes.
And to understand interest in layman's term, if I have $1 in existence and I loan you $1 and I tell you bring it back with interest, where would you get interest from?
I can't. If we only have $1.
That's my point I'm trying to make. That's the point I'm trying to make. So pretty much interest does not exist in reality. But the way how the system is set up, it's built. You don't know where you can get interest if I create more dollars, which in turn create inflation and all this other stuff. But that's a topic for another.
Right now you got me to scratch my head.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is that we shouldn't be too harsh on the debt right now because that part of it can be solved if we are willing to do the things we're talking about tonight to get us there.
All right. So let's jump into it, Clint. So
sure.
You said that we need to be a
From a
10.
10 to
We
20.
should be a 10.
A 10 to 10 to 10 to
Oh, did
$20
you
billion.
just say 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the numbers show. I mean, let's
Talk
look at
about bold. Okay.
let's look at I mean, what we're going to do first is just
Uh-huh.
compare Belize against our CARICOM counterparts.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And again, the countries that I chose, because the numbers shows that Belize is about almost last when it comes to GDP per capita amongst CARICOM country. But what I
Okay.
decided to do to make it quick, fast, and hurry is to put Belize against three of the known ones. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Which
so that people can see that
see?
we're not just
we're
putting
not
a
being
number out
biased.
there.
The numbers are the numbers, man. And, you know,
Yeah.
these are the numbers that they put out. This is not changing narrative numbers at all.
Right.
So let's start with the Cayman Islands.
All right. So we're going to use the Cayman Islands.
The Cayman Island population is 6 to 1,000.
Okay.
The Cayman Island geographical land mass is about 102 square miles. Cayman Island GDP, however, for that small island is about 3.2 billion. Already beat us, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And the income per capita is roughly around 42,000.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on to the Bahamas.
Cool.
The Bahamas population is 389, which is similar, 389,000, which is similar to Belize.
Yep.
The area is about 5,358 square miles.
So they're smaller. Okay.
Look, bigger than Cayman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the GDP is 12 billion.
Ouch.
Income per capita at the Bahamas is 34,000.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
The next one I'll choose is Trinidad. Trinidad is like good neighbors as well.
Yeah.
Trinidad population on that little island is 1.4 million.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. The square miles for Trinidad is 1981, so it's 1,981 square miles.
Okay, so smaller than Belize. It's significantly
Way smaller than Belize.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And GDP, however, is 22 billion.
22 billion?
22 billion on that island. And we also got their GDP is about 16,000
Okay.
as of 2018, 2017.
All right.
Now we got Belize, the jewel.
Okay.
The jewel's population about 390,000.
Yeah, we've grown.
We've grown a little bit. However, square miles, if you know, we learned this in school, 8,867 square miles.
Yeah.
You know, we're from the Rio to the Saboon.
That's right.
Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And however, this is where the sad numbers come in. Belize GDP, 4,830. So basically,
our
there's
GDP per capita 4,000.
4,830. And again, all these numbers are in U.S.
Right.
dollars.
Yes.
So everything we're saying here is in U.S. dollars. And this is just come to show you, all these countries are way smaller than us. Mm-hmm. They're on an island, so it takes for transport for goods and services to get to that island. It takes a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Belize is on a landmass that you can run buses and trains and rigs directly to Belize to bring in your goods and services.
That's right.
And these countries are outdoing Belize by
Big
a lot,
time.
big time.
Big
It's
time.
not even, and this just confirmed to you these guys who are in charge, who've been running the country, both parties at this point, they've been mismanaging the country. I mean, the numbers don't lie.
Mismanaging, and they have no imagination.
None at all.
They're doing nothing
But
innovative. We just do tourism and agriculture. That's
it.
That's the bulk
And again, the
of
problem with that is tourism and agriculture. If you're running your country and you banking your country to survive of tourism and agriculture, you're in a losing battle, because those two income producers for any country in this new economy are losers. The agriculture industry has been losing money, especially in regards to sugar and all this stuff, because the price for sugar, people want to eat more healthy food.
Yeah.
So the price for sugar worldwide, and a lot of countries are producing it,
yeah.
the price of sugar worldwide has been dropping.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we got to find somewhere else to make money. And in regards to tourism, there's too much factors. There's weather, there's violence, and like what's going on right now in Kikaka right now with electricity. There's
water.
man-made issues that could go on that can give the whole country a black eye.
Yeah.
And now we're going to lose millions of dollars behind this nonsense. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So
That's right.
you cannot be, for most countries, they will tell you tourism and agriculture should be about your fifth or sixth or seventh income producers.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Belize have an abundance of ways to generate money.
All right. Well, changing narrative is about solutions. We're not just about complaining and
Yeah.
talking bad about our country because that's not at all what we're trying to do.
No.
So let's go ahead and tell our audience or top 10 ways that Belize can move itself right now within what, 5 years or
Within
so?
5 years.
Within 5 years from
Within
being
5
a
years.
$2 billion economy to a 10 or even higher
Correct.
$10 billion economy. Go ahead,
I
Clay.
mean, let me ask you, this is where I'm optimistic about Belize, and if I was a betting man, I would bet on Belize. The
Good.
first thing I want to say, our people, the Belizean people,
Mm-hmm.
are one of the most resilient set of people on this planet.
I agree.
You don't put people in this type of situation that they're at, and they still thriving.
That's right.
And the Belizean people, over the years, with all this negativity and this nonsense that's going on, we are still thriving as a people. We're still growing. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that no one can take that away from us.
We're still hopeful.
We're still hopeful. We're still optimistic. We're the optimists.
Mm-hmm.
And the numbers the numbers shows that. And we just want to point it out to you guys. So let's start with the top 5 basic things they can do right now.
Okay, let's go for it.
The first one is, as you know, we have some of the most prestigious beaches, beautiful waters, and we have some of the most prestigious forests.
Rainforest, yes.
Rainforest.
Absolutely.
And do you know the rainforest itself, within the rainforest,
Mm-hmm.
there's probably a cure for most of these diseases that we're facing right now in this world. Whether it's diabetes, cancer, sugar, whatever, any kind of disease you have,
Yep.
I can almost guarantee the solution is in the Belize rainforest. That's how diverse our rainforest is.
I got you.
And to add to that, there is an industry, the herbal industry.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to export herbs, so to speak, the herbal industry is a $210 billion industry worldwide.
Nice.
So imagine we just get a piece of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh my God, we will not only start a whole brand new industry.
That's right.
And by the way, a person who deals with herbs and so forth, an average income for that person is about $45,000
Oh, nice. Okay.
per year. So it's a decent job to have, and it's a whole new industry.
That's
So
right.
people in the rural areas and so forth, this can be an income producer for those people to start out with.
And the seaweed.
And the seaweed.
Remember we saw that on the news the other day?
On the news, they had a small segment about the seaweed and how the seaweed itself is a multi-billion-dollar industry as
We
well.
have it washing up on our shoulders
And we have
sitting
it.
there.
We just have it wasting away right now in Belize, man. But that's just come to show you that these guys, they're not innovative, or they're not trying to solve some of the problems that we have right now. So again, the first one we're going to talk about is it's called the alternative medicine industry.
Got it.
Or the herbal industry.
Okay.
And also our fisheries with regards to the seaweed and the fish that we have within our body of water that surround Belize.
Okay.
All right. The second one is, again, it touched on what's going on today. Like what's going on in Kikaka, where they don't have running water, electricity on that island. If we can, as a country, okay, as it is right now, we spend about, I'll say about $50 or so million buying electricity from Mexico.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
The country spends almost about $200 to $300 million on electricity a year. If we were to convert totally in conjunction with I'll say wind, and also what you
Wind
call
and
it?
solar? Is that what
No,
you're
not
doing?
solar. The
Hydro.
hydroelectric.
Hydroelectric.
The hydro. Yeah, I had a brain freeze.
That's okay.
Yeah, if you switch to the hydro, we will solve our electricity needs, man.
So be less dependent on electricity.
Less
Go
dependent.
as close to 100% as possible.
Definitely.
Solar. We have
Just-
everything that we need for that. We have sunshine
300
365
a year.
a year.
Correct.
That's basically all we need
That's
to
all
run
we need.
solar.
That's all we need.
And again, it would create a whole new industry, give people jobs.
Right. And just to go through the numbers, the raw numbers, so the solar industry alone creates it's a $200 billion. I'm sorry, it's a billion with a B, $1 billion industry.
That's
And
huge.
the leading country right now in solar is China.
China. Okay.
So China has
They're ahead of the U.S.?
the head of the U.S. China
Okay.
has the top 5 solar producing companies.
Okay.
And for the Belizean that wants to know who are these players, they are. Let me go through it. It's called Trina Solar, Yingli Green Energy, Canada Solar, Jinko Solar, and JA Solar. These are the top 5 solar
So
producing
these
companies.
are who we could contact
We
if
could
we wanted
contact
to
if you want to,
see.
yeah. And again, we know people that actually did this. Again, we are friends with people who know the singer Akon, and Akon recently got a $1 billion line of credit from one of these companies. All right,
Yep.
and he was able to take that line of credit, and he's lining up the entire Senegal and Africa region right now as we speak.
Taking them solar.
Taking him solar.
Oh, nice.
He's doing that right now,
That's what's up.
and we have the ability to do it. You know, what I mean, again, they are giving away lines of credit to get you going if you don't have the money up front to purchase the solar.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So we
I'm sorry?
have herbal industries, seaweed fisheries, solar. What's the other one?
Yeah. So the third one is pretty. We talked about this before, man. You know what it is? It's marijuana. You know, what I mean, the marijuana industry. You know, like we stated before, the marijuana industry currently produces over 140 billion dollars
That's right.
worldwide. We have some of the best climate for marijuana
To grow it.
To grow it,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? And we have a lot of land for it because marijuana takes up a lot of land, a lot of waters, you know what I mean? So
We got a lot of square miles.
we got a lot of square miles for it, you know what I mean? If we were to do it, it will definitely fill at least, for me, based on my estimate, at least $300 to $500 million. As it is right now in Colorado. Colorado just reported that they made $1 billion just off revenues in marijuana. You know what I mean? And I went ahead and looked at how they made that money. So there's 2 ways they did it. The 2 ways they did it were they charged the growers, the people who actually grow the marijuana, they charge them 50% in some type of excess tax.
Okay.
They also charge the
Dispensaries.
that sells it. And, that tax can go all the way up to 45%. So there's ways to make income for the government.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Within this industry. You know what I mean? And again,
Right.
if the government would also give 80% of this market to the Belize people and 20% to foreign interests,
Yeah.
I think this industry can be something that we
And that's another
benefit
thing
from.
you want to pinpoint. Like all these ideas that you're coming up, they can't just outsource all these things.
Nah, this is all in
international
house.
people.
I mean, again,
That's not going
it's
to
all I mean, some of the stuff we will need help to get it done, but the stuff that I mentioned right now are should be going to the Belizean people and
That's right.
bringing new jobs to the Belizean people.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, so the fourth one that I want to mention, and this might shock a lot of people, but our education system needs to be scrapped. It's obsolete.
Oh boy.
I'm talking about the entire education system needs to be. It's obsolete.
Clint, that sounds.
It served its purpose.
That sounds. That sounds harsh.
It sounds harsh, but it's the
But
truth.
I can't really disagree because I just had an encounter with the
right.
education system
Because
that
you-
really made me think like, did I just waste so
your
many
time
years in
because your
college?
degree
It really
here,
is.
the degree here for this new gig economy
Mm-hmm.
is obsolete. The stuff that you learn, machines is doing it now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the people in Belize need to understand that a lot of stuff that they're learning today, machines will be doing those jobs. And there will not be any jobs for those kids who are coming out of school with those type of degrees they're
Right.
offering in Belize. So I will suggest that people learn how to write code. I'm talking about in first, second, third, grade. You know what I mean?
Technology.
Technology.
Man.
Learn how to
Future.
Learn how to speak multiple languages.
That's
whether
right.
that's Spanish and Mandarin. Mandarin is also got to be on the agenda for a lot of Belizean people. You know what I mean? And also learn how to work around climate change, because especially with us being where we're at, and
Yeah.
climate change is
makes
real,
sense. Oh,
and,
yeah.
and it's going on worldwide. So if we could get our kids to be prepared for this new gig economy,
That's right.
we will do fine. And right now we're giving them a disservice by having them going through a system that's completely obsolete.
Yeah, we got to make some changes. Have we made any changes to our
No,
education system?
not at
recently?
all, not at all. And it's harsh because a lot of teachers, this is all they know. The
Yeah.
politician, this is all they know.
So it sounds a little drastic when you're like, just scrap it.
It has to be
But
scrapped because it's
yeah,
obsolete. It's not helping. It's not serving its purpose. It's actually taken away
yeah, it needs a
from
rehaul,
our kids
overhaul. It needs an overhaul,
completely,
complete.
completely.
Okay.
And I mean, the fifth one that they can do right now also is learn how to keep our talent within Belize.
One of
And
the
again,
biggest
this
issues
goes
we've
back
been
to
having.
and yeah, this goes back to our entire conversation with cronyism
Yeah.
and nepotism. Whereas
Yes.
a lot of people who had talent in Belize decided to leave Belize because, for one,
We're
they
not getting
weren't they
paid.
weren't getting paid for our talents and what we can
No.
produce.
Yeah.
In addition to that, the people above you who are sitting on these positions for a very long time cannot be moved and refuse to move
That's
because of
right.
nepotism and cronyism.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying. That it all ties in.
Yeah. You
You know
got
what I'm saying?
dinosaurs at the top. They're not
They say
innovative or
because
anything
they're
either.
because they went to school with this one or grew up with that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then you
They
have the
the
new
new up and coming
people,
with new fresh ideas
educated,
who are producing
and they're
more.
being
They're
stifled.
stifled, and
Yeah,
that's why they leave the country.
that's right.
And that in itself, man, is killing our economy.
I
It's
agree.
killing our economy because out of all the things that I stated tonight, the most important resource that we can have is our people.
That's right.
And we got to start to invest in our people, in ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's the top five
That's the
that
top five.
they can do right now.
And
Right
5 years time,
Within 5 years
we
time,
can meet that $10 billion
easy,
goal.
easy. The next five I want to go over real quick.
Okay.
It's pretty simple. This is something that they could do right now. Let's start with the easy one. They can also raise the retirement age.
We're at 55 now. You
Right.
suggested raising it to
65.
US's?
Yeah, so
65?
if they raise the retirement age to 65, I mean, come on, man, we are living longer
Yes.
as a population. We're living longer. So, and you retire at 55, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you still can go another 10 years. And what that would do, that will take a huge burden off the government because the people who are retired are now takers, meaning that they are now taking Social Security
They're no longer
and taking
paying
stuff
taxes.
out of the system.
Yeah.
When you are working, you're putting into the system.
Yeah.
So that's putting a huge hole in the government's budget.
Yeah.
With the people he have to pay in Social Security and the people they got to pay, the interest they got to pay on the debt, it's killing the Belizean people and their budget. All right, so that alone can save you millions of dollars. The second one that I have here, which is pretty simple again, they need to raise taxes on cigarette and alcohol.
Alcohol.
We have an alcohol issue too. We're gonna talk about it one of these days. But if we got to do this, man, we got to raise.
When you got a vice, you're going to pay for it.
You got to pay for it.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That way you don't encourage it.
Not only that, people gonna understand. People gonna understand when you have an alcohol or cigarette issue. Cigarette causes cancer and a lot of different things. Alcohol causes a lot of accidents and drunk. You know, there's a lot of situations comes out of alcohol.
Yeah.
So, and what that does, that's overburning your medical system easily. And a lot of people in Belize don't have insurance. So that money is then observed by the people. The people of Belize now are paying this bill.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And that also is generating a huge hole in the budget.
Right.
You know what I mean? If we could eliminate that part of it by cutting back on who's smokers and drinkers, or if they are, have them pay for it so that the government is making money in that end with the increased taxes. In addition to that, it will cut down on how many people we have to service in regards to these issues that we're talking about.
They need to raise that way. I think they did put some type of tax on those things.
It needs to be higher. It needs to be higher. It
needs to just be ridiculous.
It needs to be higher. Yeah, it needs to be.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, the next thing I want to talk about is something that I came up with, something that I know will work, and that's something I think I'm thinking about doing.
Okay.
It's the idea that the government of Belize should invest in a cash app system.
Oh.
A cash app. So basically, everybody in Belize currently has a cell phone, correct?
Yes.
So with a cell phone, it will be much easier for me to send money directly to a person on their cell phone like we do here in the United States, where I could send you money directly to Zelle or Cash App. You get it immediately. Instant. That would cut out Western Union. And Western Union, again, that's a $12 billion a $12 billion company. They're making up just charging fees.
Yeah, and they're not even convenient.
They're not even convenient. You got to show IDs, do all this nonsense, and most of the time people, get mad and don't want to deal with these. And there's a cap. So in Belize, there's
And
like
it's
five.
expensive.
It's a $500 cap or a $5,000 cap.
How much you
How
can
much you can
send?
send? Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So if the government of Belize would get rid of the caps in that
Do
regard,
our own Cash App system.
do our own Cash App system, and not only that, what the Cash App is good for. If you want, say for example, if I want to build a house in Belize, I could just cash out my money directly to the owner, to the contractor, or to the company that I'm buying materials from.
And then the government charges a small fee
based on how much
for every transaction
based on the amount that I'm sending, and I'm pretty sure that alone would generate between $300 to $400 million for the Belize people right now.
That would be great.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We have over 60,000 Belizeans abroad?
Yeah, I mean, it's about 60,000 in America alone.
In America alone.
And
people
we talking about tourists, we're talking about, and we can export this to other parts of the Caribbean, not just in Belize, but we could have this going around the Caribbean.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or we could patent it and send it around the Caribbean countries.
Yep.
The next one I want to talk about, they should have already done, and it's a credit system.
Yeah, why don't we have a credit system?
Why don't we have a credit system? I'm not just talking a credit system just for the few banks. I'm talking about a nationwide credit system. And it's so crazy. Every single Belizean is on Facebook. But what they don't understand is Facebook is in the business of creating data. Mm-hmm. The Belize government already have all this data. They don't, this is information they already have. Social Security and all these billing areas that they already have all your information.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The only thing they got to do now is just build a database and work in conjunction with the banks and who owes what and what. Mm-hmm. Charge the banks fees to get this information and charge customers a fee to check their credit. They do here. And that will streamline everything. And money will start to flow within the system based on, because it's hard for a bank to just
know who is worthwhile, who's credit worthy.
Exactly.
Because there's nothing for them to base it on.
Exactly. And again, this is something that we can export to other countries in the Caribbean community as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And the next thing that we can do right now is recycle. Scrap metals. I mean, we have a bunch of old cars that come into Belize every year. We got metals all over the place. We got cans. And we just waste it.
Yeah.
Plastic. It's just throwing it into our ocean.
Do we even have a recycling company in Belize?
No, not that I'm aware of. That's what I'm saying. This need to be a district by district thing where each district has some type of recycling and paying people to recycle cans and scrap metal.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We can then take this and export this to the rest of the world, and that's a $1 billion industry as well. Because what these companies are doing now, they're recycling all these old computer parts, all these old car parts, and
everything.
You know what I'm saying? But it's something we can do right now.
Simple things, man. It's really not that hard.
And this is what I'm trying to tell you. And the last two things I want to mention is stuff that as a politician, I don't even know how do you even grade these guys? Because simple things like, for example, the movie industry and the music industry. Mm-hmm. Do you know in the United States right now, the second most producing or export that the United States does is to entertainment, whether it's to movies and music.
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
And do you know that when a movie is shot in your city or in your country, depends on the budget of the movie, how big the movie is, you can charge up to $20,000 a day. That's US dollars. Just to shot that movie.
Just to shoot it. And these productions can last for months.
I mean, look at Game of Thrones that have seasons. You're talking about years. Years.
Imagine them doing just
and not only that,
in Belize.
That's what I'm saying. And it's not only that. It's exporting Belize to the world.
That's
so that brings in more tourists and more people. Recognition. Belize will be more seen to the world. Mm-hmm. But what Belize needs to do is invest in the cameras and the equipment needed in order for these movies to be shot. And the government don't want to do that for some odd reason. But it's an investment. Yeah. That will bring back that money tenfold.
See, these are the good investments.
They just don't want to do it though, man. Or again, they just lack creativity and imagination. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the next one is because we've been to several big festivals since we've been here.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. Here in the U.S.
In the U.S. and For example,
other Caribbean places do it too.
do it too. I mean, look at Jamaica Sunsplash.
That's right.
So Jamaica Sunsplash alone brings in for the city of Montego Bay $10 million every time there's a Sunsplash.
Wow.
Do you know some of these beer festivals they have in Europe and these techno alternative music festivals that they have? Mm-hmm. Some of them brings in up to $140 million in 4 days.
Oh wow!
For some of these economies.
Yeah, and those are things that the people can enjoy.
Attract a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
You know, everybody pitching the beer industry.
Everybody gonna make your money.
Everything.
Everybody gonna make your money. And the crazy part about it, man, let me tell you something. Belize has the weather because 365 days we are 80 to 100 degrees.
That's right.
We have beaches. We have fresh air. You know.
We're English speaking. It's perfect, man.
And again, our money is easily converted because we're 2-to-1 to American dollar. So it's pretty straightforward. And I don't understand how none of this stuff that we talked about so far has yet to be implemented.
If it's being implemented and we don't know, let us know. But as far as we know,
it's not. And again, I want to emphasize, like, I've read some of these guys' 100-day plan when they first get into office. And it's like a joke when you read it. It's a joke to the belief.
Maybe they think it's okay. Maybe they think $2 billion is enough. Like, we should be okay with that.
Man, the stuff they're talking about doing sometimes is fixing a road that they should be doing anyways. Putting up a basketball rim and a goal and painting it. That stuff you should be doing regardless. Don't get it confused with stuff you should do and stuff that will grow your economy.
Let's talk about that.
Part of your job is to bring in jobs and security for your people.
That's right.
And they're not doing that.
That's right.
And hence the reason why I'm saying both of these parties has failed miserably, and it's time for us to move forward and try something else. Because again,
4830 ain't cutting it.
No. That's what I'm saying.
4,830, not cutting it.
It's not cutting it. And again, if there's a disaster right now in Belize, we don't have the money. We are borrowing money to pay our expenses right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Imagine, people, we can move from that 4,830 GDP per capita
to 25,000.
To 25,000.
And this can happen within 5 years.
That's the impact it can have on you.
5 years. So you could take your family from, say,
being broke.
We
talked about last week.
Yeah, being broke, making about 16 to 20,000 Belize dollars a year. We could take that from that amount to make about 60, 70, 80,000 Belize dollars a year easily with some of these industries we're talking about. But it just takes a little bit of imagination, a little bit of money to invest within these industries, and we're good.
And a little bit of the right mentality, like the mentality for the people rather than just being
for themselves.
All day,
exactly. And that's all we're saying. So again, Belize, we have the answers. Belize is not a poor country. Belize is just mismanaged. Belize is really a 10 to 20 $1 billion economy.
That's right.
And I've laid out 10 ways we can make. And again, based on my 10 ways, it adds up to trillions of dollars. We just want a fraction of, these industries. If we could just put our mind to it, we'll be fine. Or we'll get out of this mess we're in right now.
All right, there you go. Solutions.
Yeah.
That's what Change the Narrative is about.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. This has been Great Clinton.
For sure.
Dropping knowledge. That's what you're doing. Speaking of that, my blog, Knowledge Drop, is out as well.
Check it out.
Okay. That's it.
That's it for now.
That has been
episode 10.
It's a wrap. Again, guys, walk into the new year, heads high. Let's make our country a better place. All right. Again, this is Change the Narrative. This is our time. We do it our way. You be empowered. Change the narrative. This is Kim signing off.
Peace.